to another episode of Absolutely Long Island. Today is a very special show. We are going to talk about astrology and dating because you and I have both talked to people who say they'll only date specific signs. You recently had a guy?
Yes.
Yeah, that said he will only talk to women
Taurus.
who are a Taurus.
Right.
And because he's had great relationships with Taurus women, so he'll only talk to Taurus. And for years, I thought being a Pisces, I should stay away from Geminis. So this was bubbling up a little bit. I guess everybody's talking about this. And so today, I want to introduce our guest, which is Michelle Santagate from a very popular YouTube show called Born Without Boundaries. She gives tarot astrology readings. I think I have that right, for all signs. She's over 20,000 subs. I watch her show all the time, and I wanted to ask Michelle, who's my go-to guru and my expert out there, is there any truth to this? Should we even be thinking about this sort of mindset when we're looking for a date?
No. And and I'm going to share a story that I shared with you because I know you wanted me to share this story. So I used to work as a marketing manager in Manhattan. I worked corporate for a long time. And I had a friend of mine who worked there. He was a phenomenal project manager. And he was great at everything that he did. And you're such a charmer. And he was a Sagittarius, as most Sagittarius men are charming. And he was just joy, he's pure joy. And he had, years back, he had interviewed with a very, very, very famous name brand fashion designer.
And the measurements what we are talking is all in inches, but we can get the measurements in centimeters as well.
I think it was Donna Karen, but I'm not sure. But in other words, a name you would hear and you'd be like, shit, And they hit it off like crazy. And he was going to sort of project manage a product line for her and stuff. Right? Until the end of their she was literally had offered him the job. And then she said, wait, before you go, I just want to ask goofy stuff. What's your sign? And he said, I'm a Sagittarius, very proud, and he was happy that she asked because he's like, you don't know who's into astrology or who's not, right?
Yeah.
And she literally, her face sunk and she said, that's going to be a problem. And he didn't get the job.
Wow.
They have all this chemistry, have all this energy, and he has all this phenomenal experience. But because she heard his sun sign, which is not going to be the primary planetary position that affects your work ethic, she didn't hire him.
I find that shocking.
We're talking about dating here, Long, because you guys are fucking phenomenal. Best show on dating, especially for mature women. You know what I'm saying? Because so much dating, people talk about people in their 20s. And, screw them. They have enough reality television shows. We don't need them.
Thank you, Michelle.
But there's a sense of, but it's the same thing applies to dating. You can't ask somebody their sun sign and determine, oh, we're compatible, we're not compatible. Because the primary planets for compatibility when it comes to long-term romantic relationships are your moon sign first, and then your Venus and Mercury for support, or basically a triangle, all of them working together. So to hear somebody's sun sign, and I'll give you a perfect example, right? I'm sure you've heard it because you guys are into astrology. Scorpio and Cancer are supposed to be like the holy grail of compatibility. Well, guess who was a Cancer? Princess Diana. And guess who was a Scorpio? Prince Charles.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Now, Camilla Parker Bowles is also a Cancer. So clearly understand that there's not just sun sign compatibility going on, right? You got to look into their moon signs and their other placements to really understand, well, why aren't we communicating on the same level? Because for sex, communication isn't that big of a deal, right? We can screw somebody and never have a real conversation with them.
True.
But if you want long-term companionship, if you want a long-term relationship, love, respect, friendship, partnership, honesty, owning property together.
Your women, I want to buy your women, the little girl, your daughters. Sell them to me. Sell me your children.
All of those things require you be able to communicate with each other. And if you're communicating on different wavelengths, it's not going to work. There's another sun sign combination that's not supposed to work. Capricorn and Sagittarius. They're supposed to be like in such different worlds. But John Legend and Chrissy Teigen have the most adorable relationship. And John Legend is a Capricorn and Chrissy Teigen is Sagittarius. Clearly, there's other elements at play that are making them compatible and right for each other.
It's true.
Same thing with Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. Scorpio, she's a Scorpio and he's a Leo. And they're supposed to clash, right? If you just look at sun sign. But clearly there are things going on under the surface. They have 2 kids. They've been together for almost 20 years. He still is in love with her today as he was when he was 7 and got a crush on her, when she was on the Cosby Show. Like, you can't, if you literally disqualify somebody by their sun sign, you could be throwing away the love of your life.
No, you're right, Michelle, because remember, we have a friend of ours who's a Cancer.
That's right. That's
And
right.
when we heard that he was marrying a Gemini, I
Yeah.
looked at you
and
I was like, disaster looming. This is going to be trouble. And because I just went based on sun sign, and they have been together for a really long time.
Yeah.
They get along amazing.
They have a wonderful relationship.
I was so concerned about that. I know it's crazy, but I was concerned about that.
Sun sign compatibility is pretty good when it comes to work, simply because you're making a conscious effort to keep most of you hidden at work.
That's
You're
a
not
good
letting
point.
people, you're not letting people into those intimate parts of you. You're not doing it, or at least you shouldn't be. I don't know what's going on in like the copy machine room. But generally, you're not letting people into those intimate dynamics, right? But come on, when you go home, you take off your bra at the end of a long, hard day, you kick off your smelly shoes, and you have a stomach ache. You want the person in that house with you to love you when you're ugly.
Oi, look how thick her neck is.
There is literally no difference between her ankles and her thighs.
That head could crack a coconut.
Look at her overbite.
She's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
You want them to love those parts of you that you hide from the rest of the world. So that means that they really have to know, especially that moon sign component of you, which is your id.
My sister's a Taurus. You don't know what your moon sign, do you?
No.
You never looked it up.
No.
So for everybody out there, if you want a real quick intro into that, cafeastrology.com is great. I always, in high school even, I looked up my moon. I'm an Aries rising. I knew that, but I didn't know about Mercury and Venus, and I recently went into that, and I was looking at it, and it's really complex. I mean, 12 houses, it's just so complex. You have to, you're studying it, and you study this, so you can, off the top of your head, I really don't know any of that. So you're a Taurus, but we don't know what else is in you.
How would you know that? By the birthday?
The birth date, you need your birth date, you need the time and the place you were born. Right, Michelle?
Yep.
Yeah, so I was born in New York.
It's easy, right? You go to the website, you just fill it in. And everybody's like, well, how do I know that information? Locate your birth certificate. And if you don't have a copy of it, you can get it from your town, the town that you were born in. It's easy to get a copy. I don't know how much they charge, but most people have copies of their birth certificate, or their mother wrote it down in their baby book. You'll be able to get that birth time. The reason why you need the time, as well as the date and the place, the position, is because in astrology, especially tropical astrology, but also Vedic astrology, it makes Earth, it's very like geocentric. So where were all the planets? On the day you were born, the time you were born, it will stop. It will stop, it'll take a picture of the heavens at that time to show how everything related to you. But your position on the planet impacts where everything else is.
So let me ask you a question. So if you have negative energy, like I have very bad luck with men. Always. From my father to my ex-husband to all of my dates up until, 3 days ago. But very bad luck. Does that mean that there's a certain part of me that I have bad energy when it comes to romance because of the day I was born or the time? Or because even my friends have said to me, you have the worst luck of any woman I've ever met in my life in terms of meeting a decent man. So there's got to be something astrologically that is screwing me up.
Okay, that's a really good question. So I'm gonna answer it on multiple levels. So one, I don't believe in luck, but I do believe in karma.
Right.
So there could be karmic lessons that you're being taught. And so I would look at where your Pluto is, where your Saturn is, where your Chiron is falling in your chart. Mm-hmm. And I would see what your chart is saying are your primary karmic lessons, right? Because there could very well be, you're looking, all of us here are searching. We're like little bits of the universe going to class in the 3D world. And we're trying to learn about the 3D world through our unique perspective. So you're trying to learn something about these karmic lessons in your life. And everybody that you date, whether you know it or not, is teaching you something.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the... Anyone?
So what I would do is I would pull your full natal chart and really dive deep into the Saturnian and Plutonian lessons and see, because those are going to impact, Pluto's going to impact your multi-life karma, and Saturn is really going to impact the karma that you've built up over this lifetime. So you're really going to see when you feel there's bad luck, it's really not bad luck, it's karma and what it's trying to teach you and how it's impacting you, how you learn from it, and how you move on from it. Now, also, this is what I want to say because it's multiple levels. It may not be bad luck. It could just be bad choices. And then you have to get into the dynamics of your personality and what you're trying to attain versus what you're going after. Because a lot of times what we want is not what we need. And human beings tend to constantly choose what I want, based on a number of different criteria, but mostly when it comes to romantic relationships, sexual attraction.
I'm in love with a sheep.
I beg your pardon?
I am in love with a sheep.
Dr. Ross, this is Daisy.
Social status. What other thing? Yeah, sexual attraction, social status, and what else?
Financial gain.
Well, right, and that could be financial gain, but that could be like social status as well, right?
Right.
But this is the thing, we can let those very egotistical, ego-driven things be impacting how we choose our lovers versus what do we really need emotionally? Like, who's gonna really love me?
Right.
And have we ever gotten real and learned how to love ourselves? So that's why you can really feel like you're unlucky in love, and then you can use astrology to say, okay, I have to figure in all these dynamics of myself when I'm choosing a mate. And when you have really contrasting elements, like I have a lot of fire versus water in my love trine, right? So what does that mean for me? Translation, I have to take more time to get to know somebody before I rush in. I have to do it. I have to do it, because if I don't do it, I'm going to keep repeating what we now interpret as bad luck, when it's really just bad decisions based on ignorance of not knowing who we are and what we need. And that's why astrology is so beautiful, because it really teaches you about yourself. Astrology is the study of yourself in relation to the cosmos. It's not this, and then through the study of yourself, you get to be empathetic with other people and open and broaden your study. But you always start with you. You always start with your natal chart. And this is what I was saying before we lost connection. So many people come to astrologers and they want to know about the other person. They want to know about who are they going to be? Who am I compatible with? Them. I'm like, no. Go back. We need to talk about you. We need to learn about you. We need to learn about what you need and then teach you how to take that information as your arsenal and bring it out into the world so that you can get what you want from the world. That's what astrology can empower you to do. And so, like, really know your moon sign. If you feel like you're always choosing the wrong people, it could be because you're attracting a very different kind of person than you emotionally need.
I think that's really very interesting. So I just wanted to, in closing, Michelle, this is great information. Everybody out there, like I used to always think I would never date a Gemini. They're evil because I'm Pisces. I'm so, and just like the one guy that you said that he hates Sagittarians or whatever. Don't be like that. It's more than just your sign, obviously. And I wanted to thank my special guest today, Michelle Santagate from Born Without Boundaries. I am going to put a link to your show down in the description of my show, as well as to your Instagram account. Follow Michelle. She gives weekly readings. She gives love tarot readings. She gives a lot of different readings. I follow Michelle all the time. I look at Pisces. I look at Aries. It's a great show. It's wonderful. I highly recommend it. It's intuitive. I've learned so much myself about my Piscean energy. And Michelle, I thank you so much. You were our first guest host ever on the show. I wish you could come here. I know you live in a different state. I wish you could come here and be with us. Maybe we'll have you back after the whole COVID thing is over. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly did. I learned a lot. I think you did too about this, about dating and astrology. Very popular topic trending these days. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. Thanks for watching.